What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we're having a look at the brand new KIZUNA clash that is going to be upcoming. We're going to do two separate videos for this one. We're going to have one versus the 10-star difficulty, and then we'll have another one when we have a look at the 15-star difficulty. Just giving you guys some preparation, advice, and just some team comps, team ideas, or some units that you may want to consider looking forward to this first KIZUNA clash. Of course, there is the new Yamato character. So you originally get this character as a 5-star character, and you'll be able to get these skulls throughout the event to get her to 6-star plus. Through the brief read that I have had of this unit, this character actually does not seem amazing. She is a Sign Int captain. She does remove bind by 1 turn as a captain, which I guess could be useful. An EX super special, which it boosts the attack based on your damage reduction, so that's pretty unique that she gets access to that. And then she gives super typing to both Psy and Int characters, but of course you do need 4 of the characters listed being Straw Hats or Momo, so it's pretty difficult to use this in a free-to-play sense. And then her special ability does do a bit of damage, changes some slots into Wano, does give you 80% damage reduction, removing resilience. And then if you have a Psy or Int captain, you get 1.5 increased damage taken. Doesn't go through immunity, so I don't really know how useful this is going to be. Probably going to be good in the upcoming treasure map in October. But other than that, I don't see this character being super useful. But either way, we move along. And let's go ahead and start talking about each of these bosses in this upcoming KIZUNA at the 10-star difficulty. Alright, so the first thing we're going to have a look at is the Dex difficulty of the KIZUNA clash, so the Dex 10-star difficulty. So Strength, Dex, and Int are the characters that receive cooldown in this quest. And Battle 2, there's going to be a preemptive of Special Reverse, Despair, and Resilience. In this team comp, we're going to be using a friend Captain Kaido, and of course with his captain ability, he has the ability to do end of turn damage, so we don't have to worry about the Resilience. Now for Despair and Special Reverse, we'd be using this Jozu character. Jozu does have the ability to deal with Special Reverse with his crewmate ability and giving cooldown to Powerhouse and Fighter characters, as well as removing 5 turns of Despair, so he deals with all of the gimmicks we have to deal with on Battle 2. And then we also have Lin on the team. The treasure map Lin, as her special, will give us all the damage we need for Stage 2, because the Stage 2 bosses actually have a lot more HP these days, so having a special that can give you damage for that stage is actually pretty important. And then we have Battle 3. Battle 3, there is immunity, they remove your beneficial effects, so you can't carry any buffs into this stage, which is unfortunate. There is going to be a special limit debuff, and there is also an effect where you get given a really small orb boost, so that's also pretty frustrating. And then also 5 turns of threshold. And you just see after level 31, there's intimidation, -1 turn to color affinity, which is very annoying, 5 turns of attack down, and an additional 2 turns of special limit. It's pretty frustrating, actually. So we have a look at the ability list. We've got the free-to-play captain here. They resist special limit, and then the friend Captain Kaido will also resist special limit, so that allows you to get around that debuff particularly. We have the Cat Dog character on the crew because their special gives us an attack and a color affinity boost, and also removes 6 turns of attack down. And then we've also got Sasaki, which can provide an attack boost, albeit, you know, we have the lead performers who actually give a much more significant attack boost, but Sasaki allows us to use his special to remove threshold. And then also, you know, because we are using lead performers, they're actually a really solid free-to-play captain, and the special does change all slots into Dex. And of course, if we have the effect of Kaido with his captain, he changes Dex slots into Wano. So we have a full board of Wano slots. We have some damage going on, so it's probably not the most optimal team out there for this content, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to get around all these gimmicks, of course. But this team should work relatively well, at least in early stages of this KIZUNA clash. And now this team here obviously is not a team that I know a lot of people are going to be able to build, but this is, I think, what I'll be trialing out. I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm doing yet. Big Mom is a nice addition to these teams, of course, but I think in terms of building a team that is succinct, that is like a one team versus all kind of sense, I think Big Mom is not super optimal because of the fact that she just doesn't really fulfill much of a role in the crew in terms of gimmick removal. She's just kind of there for additional damage. But this time, you know, using the double Kaido, we can use 1 Kaido EX Super and 1 Kaido Special on Stage 2. And we have to deal with Despair still. With the special of the lead performers, they actually remove Despair for us, so that's actually really, really nice. And then of course when you reach the last stage, there's Threshold, there is Attack Down, and the Fukuro Kuju is amazing with utility effects like that. He also gives us a chain boost, which is pretty cool. And then we have the Orochi as well. Orochi, he removes all beneficial effects placed on the crew, but then he applies a bunch of other buffs. So Orochi is going to be like relatively okay. He doesn't give us massive buffs, but then of course we have the conditional boosts from Kaido and also from Big Mom, and that actually will give us quite a lot of damage for getting through this quest relatively comfortably without too many issues, in my opinion. So now we get a chance to have a look at the secondary boss, which is versus the strength boss, and characters that are fighter, striker, and driven receive cooldown for this one. So with this team, we're using Nami as our main captain. Nami is really good for stage 3, and we'll talk about it once we get there, as well as using the friend captain of Law and Kid, mainly due to the effects of stage 2. As on stage 2, there's 2 additional enemies that have very high defense but low HP. So ideally what we'd do here is we would super swap with Law and Kid on stage 2, use their special, which would completely wave clear the entire stage, well, at least the mobs, which is really, really strong for us. We also have Otama on the crew. She deals with the paralysis that does occur on this stage as well. And then we should be able to kill with normal attacks, because we will still have the special of Law and Kid, which gives a massive attack boost and a full board of slots on that stage. Now, people may be wondering, why are we running a full side team in this quest? The thing is it actually doesn't matter what color you use versus the strength boss. As you see, when you reach battle 3, there is an immunity, they do health cut to your crew, there is damage reduction, resilience, but the really annoying effect, nullify type effects. So this means that all damage from your crew is going to be counted as neutral damage. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure. Nullify type effects means that every piece of damage on your crew is going to be counted as neutral damage. So even though it's a strength boss, you normally bring quick characters against it. Even if you bring quick characters, it's going to be treated as just neutral damage, which is very annoying, and I don't like it when they do that, specifically for Kizunas. In super bosses, they did it one time before, but in a normal boss, it's actually kind of frustrating here. There's also special reverse, and there is an interrupt, which is kind of fascinating. If you apply ignite to the enemy, they're going to treat Wano and similar slots on your crew as 5 times multiplier if they are counted as matching. So this is going to be kind of big when you're applying, Big Mom or Kaido on this fight, because it means that if you have a Wano or a similar slot, once you've ignited them, it counts as having a matching slot of 5 times multiplier, when normally if you have a matching slot, it's like a 2 times multiplier. So this is really what they want you to do. They want you to abuse Wano and similar. So even though you don't have type advantageous effects with the nullify type effects active, they just kind of want you to use these Wano and similar slots. But that's not what we're doing here, because I wanted to make it somewhat accessible here. Now, after level 31, there is going to be an additional turn of special reverse and 2 additional turns of resilience. Also, any orb boosts are negated by -2 multiplier, which is kind of annoying. But with this team, we have Frankie to deal with 2 turns of special reverse. He also gives us a chain lock as well, which is pretty strong. And then we have Nami. Now, Nami is very good because she can also apply the paralysis conditional boost, of course. But the other thing about Nami is that she removes 7 turns of Rainbow Shield and 7 turns of Resilience, which means that we actually don't have to worry about those gimmicks at all, because she just does all of that. So the defensive effects on the enemy side of the field are completely ignored because of Nami, or she just removes them for us, which is great. Now, the other characters on the crew, Katakuri is mainly here just because he gives us a full board of slots and an attack boost. And then we also have Whitebeard, who can give us an orb boost. Color affinity doesn't really matter on this stage, remember, because your type effects are negated. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. You can just replace that kind of effect with something else. Though the fact that the orb boosts are negated, or that they get minus a 2 times multiplier, means that a normal 2.5 orb boost with Whitebeard is going to be nerfed to a 1.5. Or a 0.5 increase to the orbs, which is very frustrating. So the amount of damage that you get is obviously going to be nerfed by quite a lot. This team, though, should still do a pretty decent amount of damage. It's a very, very odd, really odd fight in this Kizuna. We haven't seen too many fights that are similar to this, so it's going to be interesting to see what the ultimate, optimal team is for this quest. Of course, using the new characters once again, and we're using the same characters that we kind of talked about before. Now, there is paralysis on stage 2 that we've kind of talked about, and Marco's special deals with the paralysis for us, which is nice. But the other thing that we also have is also the Kaido special and a Kaido super type, which gives us a lot of damage on stage 2, and I'm pretty sure that will be more than enough damage to absolutely destroy that stage by itself, so that's going to be kind of nice to deal with. And remember, Kaido, when he has a Wano slot and you tap with him, he does remove the barrier that does occur here on stage 2, which is pretty good. Now, when you move on to the last stage, there is going to be, of course, the special reverse mechanics. There's going to be the effect of the Rainbow Shield, and also there's resilience as well. Kaido deals with resilience, so that's not really a big problem. But with the Rainbow Shield, Fukurokuju does deal with that. Special Reverse we can deal with Kaido's EX Special, as well as the Orochi. He deals with all of that, which is relatively okay. Big Mom, she'll ignite the enemy, which will allow them to give us the buff to Wano and similar slots, of course. So, like, this is an okay team. Again, I've just kind of chucked together these random boosted units. We're going to have to do some tinkering for sure to make sure that these teams actually work. Once again, I don't know if Big Mom is going to be optimal for these teams in the upcoming KIZUNA clash, but this team will work. I just don't know if it's going to be the optimal way to get through this particular fight, because this is a very, very strangely designed KIZUNA clash fight. Alright, now we get to the final of these bosses here, which is the Int boss. Free Spirit, Cerebral, and Powerhouse all get cooldown across the board there. Now on Battle 2, full board of deck slots, but they're treated as badly matching for 2 turns, and there's 5 turns of Rainbow Shield. Pretty annoying to deal with. However, we luckily have the EX Super of the Friend Captain 6-star Luffy, so we can ignore the Rainbow Shield. And we can use the special of Sunny-kun, which can change all of our orbs into matching. So only the deck slots are counted as badly matching, but the rest of the crew slots will be counted as matching, so we don't have to worry about that. And then the Momo special. So Momo, he only would normally give an orb boost, a 2.75 orb boost to slashes, but when we use the 6-star plus Luffy, it means it's going to be for all characters instead. So the Sunny special and the Momo special will be all we need to do in order to get through stage 2. When we reach the, of course, the EX Super of the 6-star Gear 5 Luffy has to be used as well. Got to make sure you use that. Then when you reach the final stage, the enemy will change type to either Strength, Dex, Psi, or he can stay the same as Int. So it's annoying because you really want to have some type of super effective damage here, so you can really deal with whatever color is thrown at you. There is also a barrier where you have to bypass that, but we can do that with the 6-star Luffy Friend Captain. 5 turns of attack down, which the Rob and Jinbei on the crew deal with. There is a -1 turn given to color affinity boost, so we are going to have to tank that, unfortunately. It is annoying about that, so there are probably ways you could get around it, but at this point I just kind of threw together this team, and this team will work, which is kind of cool. After level 31, the top row slots are changed to Super Block. Not going to be a problem. We can use the EX Super of the 6-star plus Luffy, which changes all slots including Super Block into matching. There is a barrier which we can bypass anyway, and the 5 turns of damage reduction, which we also bypass. So with this team, we're going to have attack, orb boost. The affinity will be removed via the intimidate, which is very frustrating. But again, as I said, there's probably better ways to get around that. And then we have Sanji for all of the chain buffs. You could also put the Brook support attached to the Sanji, which will give you chain multiplicative buff as well. Base attack boost with the Robin and Jinbei. And this is going to do a lot of damage, especially when you last tap with 6-star plus Luffy. He's going to be super effective against all types. That Rush Sugo special is going to do absolutely crazy damage against the opponent, and this is going to be a really fun team to take down the Int version of Yamato. So now we can have a look at the Kaido team that I've built here for versus Int, and remember that the rare recruits of Orochi and Fukurokuju are going to have super effective damage on this event, so it doesn't matter what color the enemy turns into, because we'll always have super effective damage with those 2 units. But with Kaido here, remember he changes deck slots into Wano, so we're actually going to get a full board of Wano slots on stage 2, and then we have the Queen special. Queen will actually lock our slot and remove 5 turns of Rainbow Shield, so that is perfect for us. Just Queen special. And then also we can use a Kaido Super, or EX Super, and his normal special, because we can have one for the last stage as well. Then we reach the last stage. There is the barrier, but Kaido, when he taps with Wano, will remove that, so that's not a problem. 5 turns of attack down, and 5 turns of Rainbow Shield is removed via Fukurokuju. And there is still the Intimidate for any color affinity boost that is activated, which is kind of frustrating, but we have the 2 conditional boosts from Kaido and Big Mom, which is going to do a lot of damage versus Yamato. the int variation on this stage. So this team seems pretty solid. Again, I haven't really figured out like a one team versus all with all of these boosted units and non-boosted units, but we may cover that in a future video, or I may make a community post or a tweet out about that, so make sure to stay tuned for all of that kind of good stuff moving forward. But with all of that being said, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.